Let me bring in Texas Congressman Roger Williams to further this discussion. Good to see you, sir. Will Tim Walz's new station as the unofficial VP candidate for the Democrats ensure that the stolen valor claims against him will not be investigated or prosecuted? Is he too big now and too Democrat to prosecute?
Well, I think he probably is. And, you know, they make these lies up and they say it so many times they start to believe themselves. And that's okay with the press. You've mentioned that. We see it, and it's one-sided. But I'm sure that he thinks now he's above it all. You know, already he's getting hammered pretty good, and I haven't seen anything what they've said to defend it. But it's what this election is going to be. It's going to be about truth versus fiction, and they got plenty of fiction to talk about, and they're going to have to defend it. It's going to be our job to stay on message and talk about the economy, talk about high unemployment, talk about all the things that Biden economics did to Main Street America, and prove the fact. And we do that, that's a winner.
Yeah, and let's talk about another big fact out there. It's been over 3 weeks, almost a month, since the assassination attempt against President Trump, and we still have no answers to basic questions. The host of The Benny Show, Benny Johnson, made a documentary questioning how this could happen in these once United States, Congressman. Take a listen.
So Crooks was able to crawl across a rooftop and fire on President Trump, while this fully equipped sniper's nest with perfect view of the assassin's position was left totally unmanned. This humiliating error happened because Secret Service did not have command, control, and communication with local teams.
Congressman, do members of Congress know the names of the Secret Service snipers in charge of protecting President Trump that day? And is there an effort to get them in front of a committee to answer some questions?
Well, I can't answer for all my colleagues. I don't know that we do know the names right now. I'm sure possibly a couple of my colleagues on the proper committee do, but we need to hear from them. I mean, look, I've been through a Kennedy assassination, and even after all these years, we still don't really know the truth. And I think as we move weeks ahead, we get further and further from the truth on what happened that day in Butler that could have turned the whole world around.
Right. And you know what? I think President Trump was on course to declassifying what happened in the Kennedy assassination. And, of course, we know what happened. Congressman, we've been speaking to small business owners here on the show, and they're hurting under Bidenomics. We see what Democrats have done to California with a number of businesses fleeing, you know, from Tesla, Toyota to Chevron. They're coming to our state of Texas. Not to mention businesses crumbling under their insane $20 an hour minimum wage out there. Meantime, New York is losing businesses after their state's malicious prosecution of President Trump and his businesses there. Democrats want to turn all of America into New York and California so our people have nowhere to escape to. How do you propose we stop them?
Well, it's not that hard to stop them. I chair the Small Business Committee. As you know, I still own a business for 52 years. So I'm on the firing line with everybody else on Main Street. But the fact of the matter is what they want to do is they want to destroy Main Street. They want everybody to be reliant on the federal government. It's called socialism. You talk about it. It's called Marxism. It's called Marxist. It's called big government. And what they do is you tax and you put regulations and you squeeze and you squeeze and you squeeze, and pretty soon you don't have a small business. You'll have Main Street. What we need to do is what President Trump did in 2016, which we know works. You got to cut taxes. You got to cut taxes immediately to create more taxpayers, to create more tax revenue. Okay, you got to cut regulations. We got so many regulations put on Main Street right now since Biden came on board. You've seen the numbers, Chris. $1.73 trillion in regulations put on Main Street America since Biden became president. Takes 200 million man hours to offset and to comply to the regulations. That's choking small businesses. We're going after our banks. They're making our banks, regulating the banks so much that they can't make a loan. It becomes easier not to make the loan than to make the loan to the small business owners. So we can do all these things. We need to just get the government out of. We need to get the government out of Main Street. Let competition work. Let free market work, and let risk and reward work.
Yeah, one more caveat I'd add to that, Congressman. Everything you said, plus we all know the $35 trillion debt prevents America from getting beyond 2 or 3% GDP every year. We're going to limp along until we address that debt, and a message maybe you can take to your colleagues up there on the Hill. Congressman Roger Williams, appreciate the time as always.